here on part 2 of the video series, just so it ain't just like a 2-hour long wasted movie space. So, okay, second, now what we're going to do, Thud, is what you got a good point here. We're going to come in here, we're going to kill off these 2 planes, and then when we kill off these 2 planes, this tanker's going to spawn in out here over the water, and he is going to be at, let's put him at 12,000 feet, and that way. So he's going to be at 12,000 feet. And another good thing when you guys are doing this, that's a little breakaway from triggers, but allows you to see the scope of things that you can do. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to tell this tanker to come to waypoint 1, and we're going to tell him that basically he's going to start a racetrack pattern that will go from 1 to this point, back to 1, until he's done. And to do that, you don't have to go into triggers and so forth. You can handle all that from right here in the advanced waypoint option box. If you click on it, it'll expand. Make sure you're selected on the plane that you want to work with. In this particular case, I got the plane and the particular waypoint that I want to work with. Okay, so like let's say I came over here and I had 2 more waypoints. Okay, and this guy was doing an evasive pattern for some reason or something, but I wanted him to start his orbit here. Okay, what we do is we would click on this, very simple, perform task. Only 2 tasks in this particular plane in this situation is to orbit. There's your racetrack. You can set your speed for orbit, which I haven't found anything that's been truly consistent yet. Start at 250 and have people tell you that you're going too slow. Okay, and then come back and up it to 300 or whatever. We haven't found the ideal speed, unless we came back here and maybe changed all the waypoints, which shouldn't be necessary. But
I can help you with that.
Yeah, talk to me, Geese. Go 300.
Yeah, what I do is just make it. I've lost. All I've got is the front page of the meeting dashboard.
Oh, did you crash again? You might need to reconnect.
No, I'm connected. I just don't see. I see all the people that are in.
Did you minimize it?
Yeah, I did. I mean, re-minimize it and bring it back, or what? Refresh?
Yeah, refresh or
minimize the window and see if there's anything. Did your dashboard window cover your whole screen?
No, it's not. Not a full screen.
Go on your bottom taskbar and see if all this somehow.
There it is. I'm sorry. There it is. Yeah, you did exactly what I've done. I put the
right
3.
Here.
Yeah. I put that at 300, as well as the speed over to the right at 300. And the best I've seen is like 230. And at the altitudes that we're flying at, that we're refueling at, up in the, close to 20,000 feet, 15, 18, 19,000 feet, I'm thinking that maybe what that speed is there is true airspeed, and what we're seeing on our HUD is
indicated airspeed.
Indicated, and
that makes sense. That very well could be the case.
But I've never seen more than 230 knots.
I haven't either. So
And the one I
I'm
was
sure
doing
they
the
have
other
a
night
max
was-
speed as well, wouldn't you think?
I'm
Yeah.
sure they do.
They probably have a max speed. I mean, if they're going to tank, then as soon as you're up here refueling, that pretty much tells you or tells them what they're going to be, and when they enter an orbit, that does the thing. So I guess it's just what we got to live. Any faster than 220 and 810s ain't going to tank anyways because they won't be able to keep up.
I got a 135 driver in my other virtual group that's flying, and I'll ask him what they usually tank at.
Yeah, that would be good to know exactly what speeds they use.
I'll ask
it
him.
might even be lower than what we do use. So it'd be kind of cool to get as close, as kind of like the real thing for sure.
The other question I had real quickly, Doug, is there a way to tell the distance between, say, waypoint 1 and 2?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Right here, Sabo, on the left-hand side of your
The
menu
ruler.
bar
Okay,
here.
got it.
And then,
Okay.
yeah, just click and drag. See how that reads out right there?
And it gives you a direction as well.
And your directions and all that information and stuff is located down here.
Okay, thanks.
But also just remember that that's all. When that button is highlighted, that's all you can do. You can't go, okay, there's there, and then try and go and move it. If you want to do anything else but ruler, you have to uncheck that button.
Okay.
So
Another thing that I use a lot is when I'm looking at the distance between waypoint 2 and the DP. What does that D stand for?
Destination point.
Destination point. Well, anyway, that's the orbit, or rather, that's the refueling track right there from 2 to the destination point. So, click on 2 again, Doug. Get out of that. Click on 2. You should have we should come up with a screen for the aircraft. There you go. Okay, now look at the time. The ETA is 12:06. So he started at the start point and went to waypoint 1. He got to waypoint 2 at 12:6. Now how much time is it going to take to get to the destination? 4 minutes. So when I'm setting up these refueling tracks, I try to I consider the time more so than I do the distance, and say, well, let's see, that's 4 minutes in a straight line. If I was able to latch onto him right here at the beginning, I've got 4 minutes to get fuel to the drop point or destination, which is a fucking lifetime.
And I was looking on the NTTR map. They have their vector points and so forth of the whole map laid out. And you haven't seen that. Let me save this, and I can more easily show you than try to explain it. So let me go ahead and save this. Let me shit, I'd have to go. That's okay, it won't take long. We'll come back to that, Thud, while we're on this whole tanking thing.
Take your time.
And so what I've been judging my tanker waypoints from is basically what I seen on this map. And then like the refueling videos and stuff that I've looked at, it seems like about 70% of them videos, all of them are in a turn. So I think that's just kind of part of the game. Okay. So anyways, like on this map, it has all your waypoints, vector points, and stuff for certain things. Have you seen this yet, Razor?
No, but
Okay.
I recognize those as what do they call those, reporting points or?
And these are the ones that grabbed my attention. Were these ones right here that you have? This is a K135, I believe. That comes in. Here's his points. His Petro 1, then to
Petro
Petro 2. And then their distance between the two is like right at
20 miles.
20 miles. And I've been making my waypoints about 20 miles. Now
Hey, would you like the?
let's do like what you did and check the speeds, because this is pre-done. I don't think I've messed with this. They have them up to 350. Yeah.
I've got the military training routes for Nevada. I'll send that to you. The MTR routes, the low level.
Oh,
it
yeah.
shows all those points and where the refueling routes are and all that. I happen to have a copy of that stupid
I
thing.
got them, and this is on the map. And
No, here, I'll show you. I'll send it to you right now.
okay. Is it?
Okay,
it's
so
all
what's the
these
time
same
between those points?
Yeah, that's what I was going to look at. So here, 7:33, 7:36. About 4 minutes, 3.5, 4 minutes. They're going faster here. They're at 350.
Yeah,
So-
you're not going to catch them with your warthogs.
No. And like I said, I haven't done anything with these. They have 3 refuelers in here. T70. So
as we're building these, we should stick to like a 4-minute leg for refueling then. Is that correct?
I think so.
That's what
yeah.
it looks like here.
Yeah, I mean, everything that I've seen, and then judging from the various waypoints, like even up here, supposedly these are they're realistic points that they have out in the NTTR. So they even have like a Google Map overlay, which I got, that has these same points on them. So that looks better when it's like that. So, and they're all about the same. Like, let's go up here to Exxon, and let's see how far away they are. This one's even a little closer. That's 15 miles.
Yeah, but he's flying at 270 instead of 350.
Dang sure is. Nice catch. So, let's see, he'll be around the 3 to 4 minute mark. 32:49, 35:32. Right at about 4 minutes, huh?
Wait a minute. At the second one, he's doing 350.
Oh, maybe
That's weird.
Oh, no, it's coming in here. He's leading into it at 270. At waypoint 2, he's doing 350.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And this is a map I started doing something with, so I could have screwed him up too. It's hard to say. Yeah, see, because there's a tanker I put in, and I have him at 350. See, here's a IL-78 for you guys. What I was going to do is, over at this point of the lake, eventually I'm going to have air-to-air.
A carrier group?
Yeah, we'll put him right there. And he'll go 4 nautical miles this way and go in reverse 3 nautical miles that way.
Yeah, because he definitely doesn't have room to turn around.
Although in a good part of Lake Mead, you can put a carrier in there, a small carrier.
Oh, yeah.
No, you can't because there's so many buildings that are being drained.
But anyways,
And the MTR
I thought
route
this
is
was
on
cool.
the MTR route. The map and everything is on the forums.
Okay, I'll grab it.
Actually has a.
I might already have them. I grabbed a bunch of that stuff.
User disconnected from your channel.
Uh-oh, who'd we lose?
Sable.
Sable. Yeah, I grabbed a bunch of the NTTR stuff. I don't know if it's anyways. So now let's get back. We keep drifting off point here a little bit, don't we? And so now we're just going to add thud. We're going to add we're going to add the refueling plane to basically the series of commands. So when you're done fighting, you get the 2 planes killed. Now you get to go and refuel. Correct?
That's right. I don't get the reward of refueling my low fuel aircraft until I get rid of those 2 guys.
Until you get rid of them planes. Copy that. All right. So here we are. We got our tanker named. We're just gonna call him Tanker 1. Let's get something a little more realistic here. Let's get rid of that waypoint since we're gonna be spawning him in. And let's double check our distance. That's a little far. We're going to come here. 12.651, 12.1. Seems about what it's been running, right? Double check distance. 20 miles. Seems like that's pretty much the way it works out.
Between 16 and 20 miles, yep.
Right. Now all we got to do is go back into our triggers. Do the same thing. But what we're going to do here is we're going to start a new event. And we're going to say start tanker. And we're going to come after we kill this guy. So group dead, which is the BF 109. And then we're going to activate. We're going to activate our tanker. And
Simple
that's
as
it.
that.
You're
Now
done.
go back and check your tanker again and make sure you put late activation on it.
Exactly. Good call. Late activation.
And that tanker could be, set to launch from an airport or a carrier or anything. It doesn't have to be an air start.
Yeah, and anywhere you want to put him. He could be in a fleet with a couple other planes, if you wanted to go like this. And let's throw a couple F-15s with him for escorts. And use F-15C. We can go here.
Hey, Dog, you remember that mission we flew in the NTTR map a couple of weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
That
was
Target Airfield.
Mm-hmm.
That is the Tonopah test range.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. In fact, they're actually one of these days, whenever they finish it, that will be part of the NTTR expansion that'll be put on there.
They'll actually finish it as
In
a working
detail.
airport.
Right. Along with 5 or 6 others, supposedly. Okay, so this is cool. This is our tanker escort. Cool things that we can do with this that you may know, may not know, I don't know. But we don't necessarily have to give him waypoints. We can do this. Set him to escort. Have him selected. Advanced waypoint. Start en route. Task. Perform task. Escort. And they're going to ask who. And we're going to say finder da da da. Let's see,
Group.
engage
You gotta go up.
distance,
You gotta go up a little
32
bit to group.
tanker. There we go. Now it latched onto him. And from this, from what we did right here, basically just attached these two F-15s to this tanker. Okay? And so they will put them to late activation as well when we get over here. And they'll spawn in with this tanker. They will fly escort to this tanker. And what we can do with these two planes is we can adjust their position to exactly, and this takes a little bit of work, but it's not that bad. Once you do it a couple times to see which direction you need to go, like the 656 is under them. It's 656 feet under them. Let's say we wanted to be 500 feet over the top, and we wanted to be, this is left and right. I think the minus may be to the left. So if we wanted off to the right hand side, off the discharge side, let's say we could go 800 feet. Come on, don't make me do that. 800 feet. Come on. Work with me.
Minus 800.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to type in. I should be able to go positive. There we go. So, okay. Now I'm thinking, because otherwise it would have been, instead of their location being there, they would have been over here.
Oh, so if you don't put anything on the Zulu side, then they're always going to stay on the Y side.
Zulu, okay, X is your up and down axis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Y's
across. And Zulu would be forward and aft.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so
now that 500
like
feet,
this.
that 500 feet is for the fighter or for the tanker?
It's going to be 500 feet above.
It's for the fighter. It's your fighters are going to be the exact orientation as the tanker is.
Okay, so if you put
regardless of what
there,
any of
be
this
1,000 feet above the tanker.
Right, we're 500 feet above the tanker, 800 feet off to the right of him, and we want to be 100 feet tailing. So here we would probably, like I said, you'd have to test this, because I haven't done this in a while, but you would go like this, and I believe that would be you would be in the rear's position. You would be more like so. And see the...
Okay. So you could test this right now, couldn't you?
Yeah, you guys would get your slideshow, but yeah, we can test it.
Okay, well, never mind. We can do that. I mean, I can do that on my own offline.
Yeah, I'll send this mission out just as we build it, and I'll go ahead and post it. And with whatever we get built, Thud will have his mission with his planes, which we probably better put some fuel in there for him, since we ain't going to test it.
Well,
yeah,
if you're going to use
I like to run out.
If you're going to use a tanker, you should use a plane that you can tank with.
Well, we can do that too. Thud wants to be in the F-18. There it is.
And I think
instead of this being a 109, you want MiG-15s or MiG-21?
Take your pick. It's okay either way.
All right, bad man. We're gonna put you up against a MiG-21 if I can find one. There it is.
Give him a 29.
Yeah. and then I'm going to change this. Another thing that we can do. Okay, this group has already been named. We're not going to hose up anything as long as we don't delete this. So what I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say MiG-21. Okay, we just renamed this guy right here. And we're going to name this group to, let's just put F-18, and we're going to put our pilot here as Thud. Okay, which is a unit name. Okay, so now if we come back in to our triggers, we're like, ah, man, I didn't even think, right? Well, if you look in here, look what's just been activated.
Got it. So it associates everything.
Right.
Right.
So the only thing that we'd really have to change is whatever we want to call it. You know, instead of start 109s, we want to start the MiG 21. Okay.
And so that changed the name of the trigger zone?
Yeah, right there. Nope, not yet. To change the name of the trigger zone, you have to actually change the name of the trigger zone. But, see, right here, you can't do it from in here. But we could come out here and click on the trigger zone and go start MiG 21 and come back into our triggers, and now our trigger zone is changed.
Okay.
So, which is good. Otherwise, you know, you could think as if you're editing missions and stuff like that and accidentally delete or rename something. You're like, oh, God, man, that's like 20 triggers back. What did I do? No fear. It keeps track of everything because everything is already put in a group or unit.
As a little side note, the trigger zone size is radius in meters.
Say it again.
Right there, the trigger, that is radius in meters.
Got it.
I'm going to use all my fancy little tools. Gray it out.
Hey, while you're in here making flights and whatnot, show Thud how to create a carrier group. I've gotten in the habit now of using 5 screening vessels, so it's a one of 6.
Okay. Always start with the George Bush.
Yep.
Because he's your center of attention. And place him where you want to. Okay. I just picked up on this the other night. You can give him waypoints. Okay, whatever you want to do. Come back here, adjust waypoint. Kind of square him up a little bit. Okay, come back and click on George Bush. And then you give him 5.
6. One of 6.
So now what we did is we just added a bunch of George Bushes, which is okay, but we're going to change that. I always like to get some idea of my distance so I ain't horsing around with it too much.
Go out to about 2.5 miles for the lead.
Oh, I always only go about 2.
Well,
Our brakes should be within 1.5 from the ship. Right. Let's stay within our parameters. Anyways, what I do is so right about there somewhere. Close enough.
Yeah,
I can
I put
eyeball
one finger on the screen there. Then I go down and grab that guy.
And then
okay, so you see how he just clicked on him and moved him around there.
And then come up here and then change it to what you want. Which who do we want to lead this?
You know, it doesn't matter really, but there are only really 5 ships that you can put out there.
And actually, what I normally do is I always just start right here, and then with the tungsten, and then these always vary. Tungsten, coal. Kind of go like this. See, we're heading this direction, so I'll be about broadside of him there. And then let's do the sprints over there. Then I always like to place this one a little off and to the right. And that's that one.
Yeah, it's a Russian auxiliary. So you got the coal, the spruance,
the Normandy.
Cole, the Spruance, the Normandy, and the
Carl Vincent. What?
no,
Not the
no.
Carl Vincent. What was I
No.
thinking? The
Go back.
Perry.
The
Oliver
Perry,
Perry.
yeah.
So,
Now, go back up to the list there, Doug.
okay, list.
Yeah, the what you call the Patuxent, and I think that's what it is. It's a misspelling. That's a like an AE or something. It's a supply ship.
Supply ship.
Yeah, you that would never be out in front. It would always be a destroyer like the Cole or the Spruance.
It would be back here, and something else would be
Exactly.
here.
Exactly.
What happens if they just got through delivering fuel?
Well, they would deliver it from behind.
Okay. I thought they pulled up alongside of them.
Well, yeah, they'd come alongside, but then they would circle back to the back.
Okay.
I mean, you
So-
would never
they
have
moved out in trail.
you
So-
would never have them out in the front or on the side as a screening vessel.
This would be more of a realistic. They would be back
Yeah.
here in tail.
Yeah.
You'd have, if your threat, you would have your major destroyer power on your threat side of things. You would have your Perry because of like pickup capabilities or whatever. Where did I put him?
Well, they're all out there looking for subs and plus their anti-aircraft missile capability.
Right.
But mostly for subs. Anyway, I wanted Thud to know how to create a carrier group because I know he's going to want to, set up a little training mission for himself so he can
Absolutely.
Most
do
definitely.
this.
There's 1-9. There's
Hey, that's right
1-4.
on. Just right.
Pretty close. 1-5.
And something to get Skeeter back in here too.
Yeah, it'll take a while to get him doing this.
Is his health doing okay? Because he was on it for a while. I mean,
Well,
okay.
he was
Hey,
in here
we're taping
flying the
stuff.
P-51.
yeah.
Yes.
I think he'll be like me once he overcomes the frustrations of the key maps. I think everything will start falling in place. Once that's done, everything is. Then you're devoting to flying.
Yeah, he has them
Looking at
CH
what's
controllers that I think's giving him hell.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of it. You're right, Thud.
Okay, so the one thing that I'm really not quite sure of here is when these ships, when you give them maneuvers like that, and I don't normally do it in my missions, I don't know if the ships, if they do what the Navy calls a corping, where they go up to that waypoint and everybody makes a 90-degree left turn and moves down to the next waypoint, and everybody makes a 90-degree turn and moves down to the third waypoint. So if you zoomed in on your little formation there, it would look just like that, except it's going the other direction. So these two guys down at the bottom are actually in the lead. I'm not sure if it works that way.
I looked on TAC view yesterday, and it almost looked like it did that when I ran the TAC view.
Yeah,
yesterday's mission.
I noticed they got discombobulated because I had like 4 to 6 waypoints for them, and it didn't look like they held formation. So, but that was the
I
first
saw 'em
time I
turn,
gave
but
them multiple waypoints, and we can look at that when we close out of here. In fact, I can do that real quick.
Also, very, very nice. Unlike IL-2, you give it the speed in the first waypoint, and it
Right.
maintains that speed in every waypoint afterwards.
Right,
And,
which
I
we've been
started off
doing 25.
Yeah, I started off giving them 30 knots, and there are some ships in this group that can't hold 30 knots, so they don't stay up with them. So I've settled on 25, and I generally give a wind in the direction opposite of the boat of about somewhere between 3 and 5 meters per second.
Okay, Doug, from the way it looks like in TAC view is that everything's dependent on the carrier. And then
Did they
everything kind of
did they
follows
make
in.
the turns with it?
Everything made the turn, but they didn't make the turn until the carrier made the turn. So the two lead ships got up to the waypoint, and they waited for the carrier to make the turn. Once the carrier made the turn, the 2 leads made the turn and the 2 trailed made the turn.
But do they try to get back into position? Do the leads try to get in front?
Yeah, it could look like it. Hold on here.
So, I mean, so if that's the case, what you need to do is slow the group down before they get to the waypoint, so that the leads have a chance to.
It looks like the leads came to almost a complete stop and waited for the carrier to come through. Then once the carrier came through, that's why we had that destroyer coming up on our rear so fast.
You need to make the lead ship the number 1 ship, and then everybody will follow it.
Oh,
yeah,
you're
there
right.
you go.
That's a good point.
That is a good point. I think that
Yeah.
absolutely, that makes sense to me.
Yeah,
So,
looking at attack view,
we could
you'll
go
see what
like
happens.
this. Go put the bush back here. Bring this back here.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to have to make it.
Have to go like this, and like this. This. Like this, and bring that back about like so. Bring him like here, and change him to Cole, I believe he was. Then spread him back over here. Do a radius check.
Oh, good call there, Stubby.
That was wrong way.
That was the wrong
That's
one.
Wrong way, yeah.
Well, see, I've noticed with convoy, ground vehicles that are spread out like this, when they make turns, the inboard vehicles stop
Yep, that's
as
exactly
the
what
lead
happened.
vehicle makes his turn, and the outboard vehicles go as fast as they can to try to maintain position.
Yep, I bet you that works, and that'll be ideal. Yep. Now everything will just be trailing. Everybody will go up to the waypoint. Everybody will come to the waypoint. Lead ship will turn. Everything else will just follow suit. So let's get complicated now.
Yeah, but see, the outboard screen is going to have a hell of a time catching up. Of course, the destroyer should be able to
a little faster.
Go a lot faster. Yeah, should be.
So we have all these ships now, Thud, and you're not going to want these ships just trolling around, running this route before you get there, right? So let's go ahead and put them. Let's go ahead and put them in a group as well, and we'll just say fleet, and let's get them on a trigger. What do you say?
Oh yeah, I gotta shoot the bad guys, then I gotta pass some gas before I can land. So if I can't pass gas, I guess I can't land then, right?
So make the trigger dependent on him passing gas.
You can do that.
Malicious obedience.
Is there a way to make the AI, when it completes its waypoint path, to start over again and just run a continuous loop?
I haven't found a way to loop them. No, not without waypoints. I'm sure there's something that you could do in scripting, but I haven't found outside. Now with planes, you can to a degree. You can bring them up to a waypoint and have them do circles around a waypoint. But I haven't found a way for ground units to be able to have that option. Everything on a ground unit that I've seen has had to have a waypoint to move. And then once they run the course of the waypoints, then they're done. And, I guess that's where it's a JTAC's job or whatever to go in and if they want to progress them further or whatever.
And is the tanker's racetrack, is that only from waypoint X to DP, whatever the previous waypoint is?
Yes.
So
and it doesn't
DP.
have to be it doesn't have to be a racetrack. You can make it into a circle.
Yeah, but for a racetrack, does it have to be DP or just the following waypoint?
Following waypoint.
The following.
You gotta you have to have at least 2 waypoints for it
So
to
normally normally what you do in a real mission is at the DP, which is the end of his racetrack for the refueling track, that would be the next waypoint would be back towards the base where that tanker lives, and when you go back to waypoint 1 and you tell it to begin its whatever you call it performance task, it's refueling, and so the thing would be orbit, and because you have put another waypoint down the road, it knows that it's not going to be a circle, but it's going to be a racetrack, and the racetrack is gonna be that long. Well, then the next waypoint is going to be off to somewhere else, to another racetrack somewhere else, or to
land
home.
right.
Yeah, to land.
So just like what I just did here, wrong way, with MiG-21, he's only got the one waypoint. He'll still do an orbit, but his only choice of orbit is a circle. So he will come out and he'll orbit around this one waypoint. They'll just pick up a single
at 270
orbit like
knots.
Yeah, at 270 at 10,000 feet.
What you can do after the orbit there, wrong way, is take it to land, but also on that second orbit waypoint, back and forth. You can also put an advanced waypoint in there that says return to base when out of fuel, when bingo fuel.
Yeah, set an option.
And when he is set to bingo fuel, I know about that one. He will still follow his waypoints home.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, because that was going to be my method of curing the S3's limited fuel issues, was have him run his racetrack. Then when he's bingo fuel, have him go to a waypoint that is in a trigger zone. So when he enters that trigger zone, another one, say it's Texaco, another Texaco spawns in and goes to the refueling point. So
Correct.
It's always tankers.
Correct. And it's just like doing the respawning convoys. It's the same process, except you're doing tankers now instead of convoys.
Yeah, I got all that.
And the thing is, wrong way, is that these S3s, it's not that they're that short-legged. It's just that when we plug in there, we're taking 5 or 6, 8,000 pounds of fuel, and it doesn't take but about 1 or 2 of those before he doesn't have any more fuel to pass.
Yeah,
and so he's out of there.
Bingo. Yeah, and he goes home. That's
the
why
reality of it is that you rarely, when the guy is up there to pass gas, he's only passing it at 1,000 or 2,000 pounds at a time, because he's generally kind of over the in close vicinity of the carrier group to give these guys a little extra fuel because the ship is pitching and rolling and they're boltering or something.
It doesn't happen. Bullshit. We don't bolter.
Oh, Jarhead, hey.
Yeah, I just checked in.
Hey, Jarhead.
Typically,
yeah, but my biggest problem is I can't put the IL-70 whatever it is in because the mission's basically